Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today I want to talk about this, the Apple Watch Series 5. Now, this isn't really a review because this device is almost a year old and there's a chance that by the time you're watching this video, there's a Series 6 announced and that's probably the one you should buy. This one may be discontinued or maybe you can get it for cheap, so maybe you'll want to get it then, but this isn't really a review, it's more of a retrospective. And I want to do a retrospective of this watch because it came out a year ago, and by some measures, it was the smallest update to the Apple Watch yet. Now, that's not a totally fair way to put it. Something very important was added last year, but yeah, it has the same processor as the Series 4, the same resolution to screen, the same design, the same health sensors. All of that is exactly the same as what came before. So what changed? There were only two features, and not like two headline features, literally two features. And so the first one was a compass. Now the compass was added last year, and I had to actually look up the blog post to remind myself what was the second feature that they added. It's a compass. And it also left some of us scratching our heads when they announced it, because I think a lot of us just assumed that was already there, but apparently it wasn't. So they added a compass this year. If you've gotten use out of it, fantastic. I don't think I have, but that's fine. But what was added and what was really exciting was the always-on display. That's the headline feature, and rightfully so. This is something people have been asking for with the Apple Watch since day one, and Apple finally delivered it with the Series 5. Not only did they delivered it in spades. They leapfrogged the rest of the industry. And I've used a good number of Android Wear watches, Wear OS watches, Samsung watches, and I appreciated the always-on screens there, but they were never as good as what is in the Series 5 today, what Apple shipped in 2019. What's different? Well, with those other watches, there's kind of you can tell when the device flashes from one mode to the other. You can tell that the always-on mode is kind of black and white, or if there's color, there's very little. Meanwhile, the Apple Watch's always-on display is shockingly bright. It's sometimes hard to tell the difference between the always-on mode and the normal mode. If you just kind of glance at your watch, you can't always tell immediately because all your stuff is there. All the colors are right. Everything is there. And so it's really nice to be able to just like always look at your watch and be able to see the time, see the data, whatever you're looking at. So super happy about that. Apple did fantastic work there, and as far as I can tell, a year later, no one's caught up to them. So that's really impressive. I'm really impressed with what Apple did here. Now, there are some problems with this. Not every app gets to take advantage of the always-on display. So, for example, your watch face, if you're just on the watch face, it'll show up on the always-on display and it looks great. If you're in a workout, the workout stays on screen and it looks great. It's fantastic. It's nice to be able to just kind of look over, especially when you're doing like strength training or something where you may not be able to turn your wrist necessarily. It's really nice to be able to just see that at a glance. But there's other things. There's things like maps. When you're using directions, you don't get that on the screen. Instead, it shows this like generic digital version of it instead, which isn't as useful, which isn't as easy to see, and effectively doesn't show you what's in the map data. You have to actually tap on the screen or turn your wrist to see what's going on there. And that's for every other app. The only apps really that got to take advantage of this were the watch face and the workout app. Everything else, you get this generic digital screen on there, which isn't as good. I really hoped Apple would address this with watchOS 7, but they didn't. I'm really surprised nothing else got to take advantage of the always-on screen with watchOS 7. So that's a disappointment. I don't think the Series 6 is going to change anything there. It seems like a software limitation, not a hardware limitation. So I guess maybe watchOS 8. But yeah, as of right now, that's a limitation where not all apps get to live on the always-on screen. Especially for persistent ones like map directions, especially like walking directions, would be really nice to have on the always-on screen, but you just don't get those right now. Additionally, battery life. So battery life on the Series 5 was very controversial at the start. Some people got horrendous battery life. It was very, very, very bad. And some people got very good battery life. And I was in the group that got pretty good battery life. It was a little worse than the Series 4, but I was still getting through basically 24 hours with the watch. Apple advertises around 18, I think, but I was getting a full day. And so the way I use my watch is I basically put it on at like 10 o'clock at night right before I go to bed, and then I wear it overnight to track my sleeping, and then I wear it throughout the day, and I put it on the charger around like 8 o'clock at night. So I wear it for about 22 hours and it charges for 2 hours every night. That's my general strategy for using the watch. And that's how I use the Series 3, the Series 4, and now the Series 5 as well. The difference is that with the Series 3 and especially the 4, I was able to get through those 22 hours without a sweat. Like I had like 40% battery life left. at that point. Like, I had gone like full weekends. Like, I would go somewhere on like Saturday morning and I'd come back, I'd stay the night, come back Sunday night, and I wouldn't bring a watch charger because I didn't need it. I was getting close to 36 hours sometimes. With the Series 5, I'm definitely closer to zero by 8 o'clock at night when I'm putting my watch on the charger. I'm closer to like 20%, 10% sometimes. Occasionally I've dropped below 10%. I don't think I've ever had the watch die on me throughout the day, but I've gotten closer than I ever did with the last couple models of the Apple Watch. So that's a disappointment, and I'd love to see, hopefully with this new Series 6, there will be more battery life to take advantage of so that this always on screen doesn't impact things as much as it did with the Series 5. But that's really it. I know it's like, it's one feature, so this video isn't super long, but yeah, I think that it was, if there was going to be a version of the Apple Watch that came out with a single update, this is the update. This is it. So the always on screen, I think, is unbelievably fantastic. I think that it changed the Apple Watch. I think that it fundamentally made it a better product. And I know this because I still have my Series 4 from last year. So I still have the Series 4 around and I wear it every once in a while. And it really is bothersome that I can't see the screen at all times. It really does bother me when I go back to it. So I think that Apple did a good job of making the watch as useful as possible before they had this feature, but now that it's there, it's basically like a BC AD situation. There was before the always on display and now there's after it. And so I'm really excited to see what they do in the future with this product. If you know me, you know that this is one of my favorite things. This is my pet product from Apple. And so I'm really excited to see where they go with it. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I will see you here next time on A Better Computer. See ya.